Spencer? Hey? Welcome to Grip
doing,
Center.
friend?
How you doing?
If you don't know, the grip departments are the lifeblood of a film set. These are the unsung heroes who build, rig, and maintain all the equipment that controls light and camera movement. They are responsible for keeping everyone safe as heavy equipment is raised high into the sky, while also making sure we have a beautiful end product. In short, if something needs to be built, rigged, moved, or controlled on a film set, chances are the grip department's on it. The Just A Clothespin team visited Grip Center Atlanta, where owner Ty Wallace walked us through the store and warehouse, where grips from all over Georgia come to find solutions for their productions. Having supported Netflix, Hulu, Marvel, and many more studios' productions, Ty and Grip Center have a ton of experience making many of our favorite movies and television shows. It's here that the film industry is most tangible, where we can pull back the curtain on some of the glamour and stardom to learn about how movies are really made.
The first thing that caught my eye here is this wall. Tell me about this.
This wall is just a short display. It's a small display of some of the grip stuff that we sell here. It's just, I got these boards from another display, and we were like, what do we do with them? What are we gonna do with them? And the previous owner said, hey, you can just start putting stuff out. It's just something cool to just throw out, and just some of the smaller
eye goes
hardware.
straight there. Oh.
Nice catch. I'm a little ashamed to say I don't recognize everything on this wall.
Well, everything from, heck, we got baby pins, speed rail fittings, modern fittings, baby plates, our Norms pin, TVMPs. It's a small compilation of just the grip gear that we have to use in various ways. Yeah, this is my office manager Ryan. I mean, this is her seat. She takes care of basically all of the day-to-day stuff that happens here, invoicing, calls, quotes, and without her, heck, I don't know if I'd be able to manage this. Working set and trying to operate this, I couldn't be in two places at one time.
How long have you guys been here?
We've been at this facility here. This is our 6th year here. We were down the street. We were down there about two and a half years. So we're going on 9 years in business here, and in this area, and just trying to meet a demand that started early, when TV and film was just crazy busy here, and still optimistic that things will pick up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, let's come on back and
Let's
show you
keep going.
our showroom.
You said that you're obviously balancing both being on set and running this. What does that look like time-wise? Like, how much time are you on set a year versus here?
The current show that I'm on, I started in January, and I should wrap probably end of August.
Okay.
60 hours a week,
It's intense.
and so it's difficult to balance. I spend a lot of my time weekends here, trying to clean up the shop, put things away, paperwork, and so on and so forth. And a little bit of time I can try to get away at the end of the night, early in the morning here. Show up here at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then turn around and drive the stages. It keeps me busy, but it's a delicate balance between both. Between trying to have a full-time job, working a TV show, and then also managing this.
Yeah, that's a lot. And you're still making time for something like this, so we
Sure,
appreciate
that's what
it.
Sundays are for.
Hey,
Yeah.
and here we are.
So we're still trying. We just repainted and cleaned up. This was a really brown room a couple months ago, and we're just trying to give it a refresh. We do have some new plans for the walls, and we got some new display shelves, a couple of gondolas here, and it's for me not being real strong in how retail business works. We're just kind of, again, doing it off the cuff. What would look cool, and so again, it's just another display similar to what we have out front. Just to show some more of just the grip Legos that we get to play with.
Yeah. I do have to ask about this, the Grip Wall of Fame.
Oh, it's our work in progress. We just let's see, actually last week I just got those mounted. what I'd like to do, I've got cork boards that we're going to be mounting on the wall for both the Atlanta Film Cruise side and for the Grip Wall of Fame. And it's very similar to what our sandbag signage is. It's just really guys that have come in, and I've asked them, hey, thank you for supporting the store. And it's just got signatures from grips and guys who've come in the store and been a fantastic part of this. It's very similar. It's going to be a thanks. We'll have with sofa. We'll just do a simple Polaroid, and hopefully over this next couple of years, we'll be able to fill up this wall for guys who've been able to come in and shopped in the store, contribute to the store, and same thing with the Atlanta Film Cruise.
I love that. It's such a cool way to highlight the community and the people who are making this possible. And so do people come here and just like shop around and buy stuff day of, or is this like in advance?
They do. A lot of people come, typically they'll make a phone call. They kind of know what they need, know what they want, right. And more the say established grips or the guys that are on a show. They'll just call, hey, we need 10 more baby plates, some cheese burros and stuff, and they'll call, order it, and they'll send their driver to come pick it up. Yeah. But we do get a lot of walk-in traffic, and especially we have a lot of people that come from Savannah, and they'll come in and just walk the store and get to shop. I can't, just to get to shop, and impulse buys, and that's great because a lot of times they'll come in, they have an idea what they need, and then once they start seeing all the other possibilities, they, hey, we can change it and do this.
I'm already getting distracted.
And it really helps guys building or doing whatever rig they're trying to create, seeing the other options. There's 9 million ways to skin the same cat, and to have available cheaper options or sturdier options, and it's what the store is about. The guys are able to come in, walk through. My entire warehouse is open for them to walk and check, and which we'll go take a look at.
Can we hit that?
Yeah, let's go take a look at.
Yes.
Come on.
See, part of the problem here is I'm already feeling like we need to be shopping right now. So, this is amazing.
Welcome to the warehouse. It's a little cleaner than it typically is. But again, the guys are able to come through, and my house is your house.
I want one of everything.
I really like 9-Dot Solutions, a lot of their clamps and some of their rigging stuff. It's really great for some of the smaller, lighter rigs, vehicle rigging. If you're trying to get a camera on a shopping cart, bicycles, motorcycles, some of the things that don't require some of the heavier clamps and rigging, the 9-Dot Solutions is a great alternative for that. Through here, this is basically all our speed rail fittings for both 1 1/4 and 1 1/2 that we have in stock. If there's something we don't have, we have a really quick turnaround. Carry about $700,000 in inventory, just to allow people to have that impulse buy. Also, rigs change day to day, and for guys to be able to come in and say, hey, I need 20 more baby plates. I like to use baby plates as an example, and we keep them on the shelf in stock. Guys, all right, fine. If we need to make a special order, we'll run here early in the mornings, 6 o'clock in the morning, have it ready for you, which is a service that you really can't find anywhere. I don't think anywhere in Georgia you can find that service. To be able to just walk in and walk out with enough gear for whatever changes or possible thing that you might need for tomorrow. Because we all know things change in the midnight hour, and it's hey, this change, and be able to keep all of this inventory here is tough sometimes. I've got to buy a bunch more stuff, never really knowing if it's going to sell, but. One day we'll sit on it for 6 months, and the next day it'll be all gone.
Yeah. So where do you fit into all this? Where's your background in filmmaking take place? You keep mentioning grip.
I am grip through and through.
Yeah.
If it plugs in, I don't mess with it. And okay, I'm fine with plugging in a Stinger. I'll plug in a DMX every once in a while, but when it comes to anything that plugs in, cables, wires, and stuff, I don't mess with it. Mm-hmm. It's not me. My background is I was a steel erector for a long time. I was a senior supervisor for a company. We run up to 24 guys on a single crew, did a lot of high-rise steel erection and stuff. And a buddy of mine kept trying to say, hey, come check out the film industry stuff, come check out the film industry stuff. And so I had an accident and I called him, said, hey, so what is this film industry? What is gripping? He says, come on, and gave me a crash course in it. And my background of being able to put things together, problem solve, seeing the end of a build prior to building it is really my talent. One of the things I've come to learn over time is embrace the limitations of my talent. Camera is not one of them. Lighting is not one of them. I couldn't tell you why to use a 250 over a 216. But you want a 60 by 60 overhead on a crane? Come on, let's do it. That's me. Yeah. So that's the limitations and the skill set that I bring. Is I know how to build stuff.
Is that where this came from? Grip Center Atlanta?
Grip Center? No, this came from more of creating a solution for a need.
Okay.
Because there isn't any other stores here. There's not a grip store, this size that you can walk in and walk out with C-stands, fabric, finished 4x4s, 2x3s, to be able to come in and purchase it on the day without having to buy from the big online stores and then wait and pay for shipping and because a lot of times we need it tomorrow. We need it now. We need it in 2 hours. And so by having a store here, keeping this inventory, that's kind of where the Grip Center was able to fill that need of, we need it. When do you need it? I need it tomorrow. I need it today. I need it in the next few hours. Can I send a truck? And so that's how the idea and the whole premise of Grip Center is. We're a grip convenience store. Yeah, if you want to keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
Yeah, I'm also curious how your work and Grip Center intertwine. So I'm seeing a lot of stuff around here. When you're on a film set, are you bringing the grip equipment, and is it coming from here? Is it your personal supply? Some combination of both?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
A lot of nowadays, a lot of studios do not like to rent or purchase from crew, and so I own my own grip trailer. I run a 48-foot grip trailer. It's specifically set up for rigging, and but because Grip Center is a brick and mortar store, it shows through productions. Hey, I'm just not some guy. My business is running from my house, and so on and so forth. It helps in the ability to both rent my trailer and sell finished goods to productions here in Georgia. We've sold everyone from Netflix to Marvel, Hulu. The show I'm on is in Hulu, and for us, the bigger fight is I'm a small mom and pop store. We have our large big box competitors that we all know, the two big names that are here nationwide and worldwide. What I'm able to offer is the convenience of, I have it in stock. It doesn't have to come in from Texas. It doesn't have to get pulled from New York or come from LA and get shipped and waiting a day. 90% of the stuff you could possibly need is here in the store. I sell everything from raw fabrics, stands. I've got raw fabrics and duvetine, grids, nets, double wide duvetine. We've got all our digital blue, digital green, chroma blues and greens, bleached muslins, natural muslins, basically all the soft goods you could think of. We do carts, sandbags. The trailer that was outside is slap full of milk crates. I have to buy them by the trailer load.
Wow.
Spencer, my organizational brain is just,
I know,
it's scratching an itch that makes me really happy. This is great.
So I remember when we did Cinegear, you had brought a cart.
Yes.
Tell me about the carts and how they exist on a production, when it makes sense, when it doesn't, because this just makes me happy.
This is our ECS cart. There we go. Let's push this around. Independent cart systems. You know, I did have a couple of them at Cinegear. We gave one of them away. We gave the Asteritube cart away.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it eventually ended up to a local gaffer here, which is great. So this is our 7 crate, and it can come in any green is a standard color, but any RL number color you'd like, we can do any custom color. I have 2 of these on my truck. I have one for just extra supplies, and the other ones I've got set up specifically for cable rigging and all the little hardware and parts and nuts and bolts that require for that. And it's just a great way to be able to have everything you would need for a very specific, you know, whether you're using it on set or whether you use it like as I do for specific, you know, pull it off the truck and have everything that you want there. Guys set these things up for camera rigging. We have another one that actually has the pipe organ on the back, so you can also have speed rail, all your speed rail pipe sizes with it. And it makes it just convenient to be able to pull it off the truck, take it to set, and everything you need is right there instead of having to holler back and forth on walkie. Hey guys, you know, we need 2 more suction cups. We need 5 more baby clamps, and you know, it's just easy to have this directly where you're working. You know, we all know time is of the essence when it comes to things. Every department does not like to be that one. Why are we waiting on grip? Mm-hmm. So. Carts, you know, just make it easy. I do have 4x carts. We've got the taco cart here. We've got the small tippy carts. These things are great little set carts to have, you know, right next to, you know, say a door in and off set. Carry just some of the smaller things, diffusion, you know, some cardellini, some grid clamps, some lips, whatever you could possibly need, small cuts of duvet and stuff.
I've seen videos of you welding on Instagram. Are you fabricating carts when you're welding? What?
Well, the fabricating videos I did was I did all the custom racks for my truck to be able to have everything organized, all my milk crates and everything organized. And it's always been kind of my thing to be able to outfit a 48 trailer the way I want it done, you know, because all the other working trucks I've been on, it's always, you know, you could save a little bit of space and do something here if this was done, and it took a lot of planning and thought just to get my trailer. I wish it was here. Actually, I should have had Transpo bring it here. I could have given you guys a walkthrough for it, but it was the opportunity to really just build the trailer how it works for me, my flow in and out of a trailer, and all the things over the years of looking at working off of other guys' trailers to how can I do this better? How could I make it more efficient, more organized, cleaner? And so I don't weld the carts here. Our carts are welded and fabricated in LA, and we have them shipped here. But we work closely with with ECS, and as far as how, what, why. This was a great addition that I've asked for him to do, was just make sure that all our carts had welded D-rings on them, just when they go into a van or a truck or a stake bed or a trailer, there was an easy anchor point to just hook the thing to, you know, secure it to the truck. The idea is, hey, let's have a handbrake instead of foot brakes on them. These have foot brakes, which work just fine, but these carts get really heavy. Yeah. Going downhill, you're not, you know, having to use your entire body to hold it. You can actually use the brake to, you know, help your way up and down hills.
I'm trying to think about how I can get this in my apartment. In the kitchen, maybe.
It will fit. They're designed to fit through all standard 3.0 doors.
I think it's really cool that someone who is very experienced in gripping is actually advising on the design of this, because I feel like there's a lot of elements of our industry that there's a disconnect between like the people who use it and the people who make it.
And it's fixed.
And so the fact that like it's thought of to have it fit through doors, to attach to a truck, like handbrake, that's really cool. It makes a lot of sense. And I wish we saw more of that in all departments.
What does that conversation look like? Were they excited to hear like, hey, this is something we can change to implement in all our carts, or
it's one of the things I found lacking in carts was the ability to have accessories to customize it to make them your own. I mean, every grip can take and run cut some wood, change some things, and make it their own. But we do. I wish I had. Oh, when we go back in there, I'll show you the 4x cart and some of the things that we do with that. As far as accessories. But yeah, the conversation was really, it started with more of what would make this better, more user-friendly, and what would we like to see. So one of the things is about 4 or 5 years ago, the standard milk crate mold was broken. And so this was the new standard milk crate. What happened is everyone's old school carts were not able to fit these milk crates because they made these a 1/2 inch taller than the originals. So because of space and clearance, these would not fit in those older school, all the old carts. So you've got decades of carts that are now, if you break your milk crate, you can't buy these new milk crates and put them in. So we made sure, hey, when we go with all the carts now, they all need to make sure they handle and fit the 12-inch tall milk crate style. So that way, if you've got the older ones or the new milk crates, all of it will fit. Just small things, making sure that we have drawer slides on drawers instead of it just being raw metal to raw metal. The Astera tube cart, we're still getting feedback from gaffers on, hey, how can we make these better? What would make this, just utilizing more space for storage. And it's really just keeping a connection with the guys who use the carts on what would you like better, or what accessory would you like, or how could this make your workflow off the cart easier for you. And so it's a lot of conversation and back and forth, and hey, what would you like to see? I wonder if I still have
Sounds like such a positive exchange of iteration.
A full sandbag cart. This is our mini sandbag cart that we just had brought in. Smaller, a little more, it's not as wide. It still has the same carry capacity, but some of the guys, especially with vans and stuff, can't use a full, let me grab the other muscle cart and I'll show you the difference between them side by side. So, for a lot of people, they don't need to carry, 40 bags on their cart. So they don't need that much space. And so, the mini sandbag cart is just another alternative for guys to have.
So on one of your typical productions, like, how many of some of these things does it make sense to have? Are you having one of all of your carts? Are there several? And who is, I guess, the owner of them?
It depends on your key grip, or whoever is the key grip, or whoever owns it, and how the nature of the show runs. If you've got a show that's going to be largely location based, which means for outdoor lighting, you're going to be using a lot of 12 by 20s, 20 by frames, a lot of stands. You would typically probably need more sandbag carts because you're having to carry a lot more sand. Most grip crews, from my experience, run at least 2 sandbag carts, and they're pretty well loaded. When they'll have one sandbag cart, loaded for their shop bags, and another one full of sand. I run 4 muscle carts, sandbag carts, mostly because a lot of it for me is I'm building a lot of large tents and a lot of things where I think I have 200 plus sandbags on my truck, and a lot of times we're dumping all of it. And so just to keep from having to make that many runs, 4 carts make sense. So the amount of carts that you need is really dependent on the show size, the workflow, how is it going to make it easier, and cost. Some people have made their own carts to supplement the fact, hey, I don't have $1,200 for a new sandbag cart. And I've seen people use small rickshaws and other things for just carrying their gear. But ultimately, it really depends on what the investment people are willing to put into their gear, their carts, and do you really need it? So, and over time, as you stay busier, sure, it'd be great to have another new shiny cart. It's always nice to have some new carts.
Can we go back to this conversation around feedback? You're in a really interesting position because you're both the person supplying the gear and the one using the gear on set, and then to other filmmakers. When you hear a note from a fellow grip or gaffer, key grip, whomever, where does that information go? Do you have a space where you're taking notes around, hey, I can change this, I can add those D-rings, or is there another, I don't know, another notepad that you're keeping to, oh, this can help me and I know this can help my other grips, when you're thinking about gear in general?
That notepad's here.
Yeah.
Yes. One example of a notepad, or how it came, is this little bracket, and it's designed specifically to be able to carry a milk crate on your sandbag cart instead of it just being stuck on, sitting in the
on top of bags.
On top of bags. Yeah. Quickly latches on. Again, you can take your milk crate and just loop it through the handle. Now, what happens with this is we've got iteration number 2, because I thought this was great. It works. It does work, but part of the issue is it does that. As you're pushing, it does kind of do a whole wobble. So iteration number 2 will have some small tabs coming off the bottom to keep it from wobbling. And a lot of it is the feedback that I get or use or see is just from use. And again, it comes down to what would make this better, a little more efficient, easier to use. It's also designed it to be able to lock into the back out of the way. So you can still, if you need to fill it up with something else. Or for our electrician friends who also use these carts, we have another iteration coming for this cart, which is going to have a folding table that comes down over the top that fits here. A lot of times I watch my rigging electric friends or my electric friends, they'll have a 20K and 18K light sitting in there, and they never really fit well because it's not a flat surface. And so that was just an option to be able to say, hey, how can we make this easier for these guys, safer, a little bit more user-friendly for being able to move around heavy lights. And the added D-ring was so they have something quick and easy to throw a ratchet strap over it, ratchet it down. If you're carrying anything, just to secure it going downhill or going, walking through stages, pushing it through stages or on location, just to be able to secure your load. And that was the idea between, just why not? Why not have an easy D-ring to anchor up? And so a lot of the ideas that get bounced back and forth is what I see, how I've used them, listening to other guys, what they've seen, how they've used them, and just trying to make shift and make products better, more user-friendly.
I love how well thought out everything is. Like, I didn't even know there was a standardized milk crate size and design.
We are about the only industry that uses the banded milk crate. Because if you think about, I think that comes from more just the sheer cost of the milk crates. You can imagine what milk would cost if they had to use these versus just the, really cheap plastic versions of them. Which takes me back to why I have to buy I've got to buy a 53-foot trailer slap full of them, because of the cost to the manufacturing company to have to run them.
Yeah.
They'll only run them once a year, and you've got to put your order in. Do a bulk order. And so I've got a lot of them, as you see. I've got pallets of the half milk crates up there.
Pretty amazing.
I keep a couple of pallets out here just to sell them. We do sell them in bulk as well. You get a price break on if you buy 1 to 3 pallets, and you get a price break from 3 to 5 pallets and beyond. For us, they last a long time. Shy of people using them as seats and step ladders, they'll last a good while.
I keep my socks in them.
There you go.
The scale of this is remarkable, and I guess for anyone watching who's interested in getting involved with film and gripping more specifically, would you have any advice for where they could start to learn, where they could start to try to put themselves on sets and just in spaces to get involved?
That's a great question. You know, part of this back space here, this was extremely full until up to this last year, basically because it had all of my rigging gear in it, which all of my rigging gear right now, most of it is on a working show, which most of it will be able to stay into the trailer that I own. What I'd like to be able to do here, and one of the things I'm working towards, is being able to create a grip sandbox for guys to be able to come in. I've got some new rags coming to be able to enclose this off. Buddy of mine's donating some lights and stuff to be able to really come in and have a sandbox for how to use some of the gear. Whether it's, hey, I'm new, how do I use a C-stand, how do I open up a combo stand, to basic car rigging, to be able to have a place for the guys, for grips, or anyone, to be able to come in and be able to try and use the gear here versus on the day, because it's so much more difficult to, I've got this great new hood mount. How do we use it, kind of thing, and to be able to have the opportunity to use and trial and work their gear prior to it needing to be done on set. And so for anyone wanting to try and learn, come on. Ryan, like I said, during the day, regular working days, I'm not here, but my phone's always on. If I'm open for Saturdays and Sundays, if you guys want to come in, just mess around with stuff. I have my working shop-ish, which is an absolute mess. But
I've been eyeing it. I grew up woodworking. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. And so I'm excited looking at it. So I'm excited to check
I
it
do
out.
a little bit of everything. I mean, that's what grips should know how to do. You know, they should know a little bit of woodworking. They should know how to, a little bit of metalworking, aluminum, steel. And me growing, most of me coming up from, when I was 17, I started in the steel industry, learned how to build, learned how to weld and work with steel. It was an easy transition from building high rises and shopping malls and churches to building with grip gear. So it was a pretty easy transition for me. And I've always known how to work with my hands. And so for guys wanting to come, my space is always their space. If they have a little bit of wood project or something they want to build or cut, that's what this space is for.
That's amazing. Can you show us around the shop?
Let me turn on a couple extra lights.
Ty, I got distracted by the tape and tie line section. Oh, this is cool. Also, cinefoil.
I've had the same roll of cinefoil for the past 4 years.
One day we're gonna use it.
One day.
And it will have been worth saving this whole time.
I fix carts. These come from Tyler Perry Studios. I'm gonna clean them up, build them some new shelves on them, double check all the wheels, make sure the bearings and everything work, and run smoothly. We'll give it a clean up, freshen up, and it'll look like a brand new cart when we're done. And for $300-400 to have the cart, more or less refurbished, and instead of, spending another $2,500-3,000 for a cart, and it helps. It gives me something to do on the weekends, and I enjoy doing it. I think that one there, you can see I've replaced the wheels on it. We gave it a paint job, but he sent this one back to, they want one more shelf. So I'll be adding one more shelf to this. But yeah, this one, it was very similar to that one until, a little bit of cleanup, I think they kept this one. I did this one about 4 or 5 months ago, and
I love that we kind of have the before and after.
Yeah.
So how old is a cart like this? Like,
this cart is well into at least 15, maybe 20 years old,
wow.
and a little bit of elbow grease and some fresh paint. I mean, they look great, look brand new.
Yeah, I love that it's not the end of their life just because they get a lot of use.
It's
and
not,
that you can.
some fresh wheels and coat of paint, some new boards. This is I think this is the example of. I think this is one they want replaced. It just looks a little dusty and crusty and. Yeah, the shop's a little dirty, little. Everything's kind of just out there.
I feel like that's the sign of a well-used and well-loved shop, though. Like, that gives it character.
With me being the one-man team back here, it's once I'm done with something, I basically walk away from it, and then I'm laying there at home. Crap, I have to go back and clean up my mess. So yeah, I mean, this is basically my shop. The only other real cool thing I think I'd like to share with you guys is our frame exchange program. So all of these frames that we have basically from this section back. It's another one of those convenience things that we like, services that we like to offer. And one of them being guys who've worked set and no set. These things rip and tear and they get used, and they need to get recovered. So our recover exchange program allows guys to bring their broken or ripped or old frames back, and they can walk out with another one. So basically all they're paying for is just a new fabric, and they can come in at any time and say, hey, I need another 4x single. As long as they don't want their original frame, they can come back here, give us the frame, they walk out with a frame instead of having to take it somewhere and have it sewn and
They don't have to wait for it.
No, they're not having to wait for
That's
it. They
really
can ask
smart.
So as you can see, the nets are really one of the higher turnover things because we all know that it doesn't take much to rip them.
I also feel like these floppies, bounces, diffusion, like it's very expensive. And so if the only thing that's wrong is the fabric, it's actually really good to know that we could just bring it here.
That also creates some recyclability. The ability to recycle in the film industry, which I don't think you see and hear a lot of, which is really cool.
So it's great, whether they're 2x3s, single nets, silks, triple nets, solid floppies. All their cutters for everything from 2x3, 24x60s, 24x48s. We try to keep a pretty wide variety of stuff, and it just allows people to come in and or even send their truck. Hey, we need to send us your empty frames. We'll send them back, and it's just another one of those convenience things of how many of these do we really need on a 4x cart? From my experience, guys carry anywhere from 2 to 3 of each, maybe 4 of each. But if you're using that many of them, the wear and tear on them is simple. Just putting it in a bush, and you've got a holly bush that decided to poke a bunch of holes in your net. Yeah. Well, you're going to need it tomorrow, and the ability to just come here and have them readily available. Hey, I need to switch these 2 out, and one of the great services, and we do sell new as well. So these are new and are used, and it's been a great service to offer our good local guys here.
Yeah, I love learning about stuff like that because I never would have known. Another thing I love about coming to spaces like this is I just feel like there's a accessibility to so many stories. Like this random one right here, who knows what it's been used for? Like I could be holding something that was used on my favorite film ever.
How many sets have it seen?
Right. Yeah. And as a fan of movies, it's such a joy to be here. And it's cool that also this is a space open to people that they can come and see and shop at. I love it.
sit down, come spend some time, drink a cup of coffee. I mean, it's the doors are open 8 to 5, and really just being able to offer. I'm glad and privileged to be able to offer a service to, that I wish we'd have had earlier in my career. And it's at least here in the Atlanta area, things have slowed down with TV and film. Hopefully it does pick back up, but back even 6 years ago, the place was busy. There was a lot of in and out traffic, and it's just over that amount of time, we just learned what do we need to offer, what are people looking for, and in the grip world, it's always a kind of a hit or miss. How much stuff do we need to keep? Do I need at any given time, someone can call and say, hey, I need 16 of these, 24 of these, and the option to just have them stacked and ready on set. In house to come get a bunch of clamps.
Ty, it's also really cool to see things not online, to see it all in one spot physically. I feel like I spend a lot of time cruising on
That's
film
one of the
sets.
more difficult things. We've had a lot of feedback similar to that of trying to find the gear that you need online, because you're having to type and search and okay, what do I need? And shopping online is very specific. As far as what you're looking for, and a lot of those stores don't actually. A baby plate, would you like a gobo head with that as well? Or you have a gobo head, would you like a short arm with that as well? Or other things that are related to that, and at least be able to come through and walk down the aisle where everything is this aisle specifically catered more to all the baby stuff. Hey, oh wow, well there's a couple of unders, and I can make a small triangle truss out of some 5/8 rod, and in a really tight space for that stuff.
And you can actually hold it.
You can hold it, figure out, hey, okay, I need this with that piece. If I get a piece of 5/8 rod, which that stuff's sitting over there, we'll cut it. You can use the tables to actually see and help build, whatever it is, whatever rig that you're needing prior to trying to do it. Yeah. Whether at home or on set, and or at least make sure you have enough of this stuff that you would need to cover the rig you're trying to build. So it's helpful for people that really if they're in question as far as what are my options. Here's a store full of options. Mostly, I care about people rigging it safely. Correctly is a obscure term, because, like I said, there's 900 ways to be able to do the same thing. But it's mostly, hey, are you going to be able to do it safely? Do you have the stuff you need to do it safely? And especially with overhead stuff, you've got talent and camera and people and stuff working under it. Let's make sure that whatever you need done is done safely. And so that's why my phone's open to everybody.
And I think that's a huge part of this, is it's more than just buying the part you need. It's like someone can come here with a specific situation. Oh, we're doing something we've never done before. We don't know how to rig this. And they not only can get what they need, but they can also defer for knowledge too.
Absolutely.
I've one very specific question that isn't that bigger picture important. What is this green stuff?
This is 60-inch. I think it's digital green. It's digi-green tempo. The reason there is so much of it now is tempo does not have a fire retardant rating.
Okay.
So most stages actually state, at least here in Georgia, typically you cannot use tempo inside because it doesn't have it's not flame retardant. So the other fabrics, which is polypro, some of it is flame retardant, and then the stuff we offer is inherently flame retardant, IFR. That's why there's such an overstock of it now. Tempo is a really light material used for green screen, VFX screening and stuff, but it's not able, to be used indoor. You can use it outdoor all day long, but it's really now going, it's become more of an obsolete fabric.
I guess I always thought green screen was painted. I didn't know it was fabric or something that could be rolled.
Oh, well, let's go get you a sample. Let's go get you a really big sample. I've got samples and samples all over the place. Now, let's see, where's my big table at? All right, here's an example.
Yeah, I can get this last one.
Some Chroma Blue Tempo. Now, if you feel it, it's real spongy.
I had no idea this is how green and blue screen happened.
And
I
here
totally
is
thought it
an
was
example of the Chroma Blue Polypro. You feel the difference in the fabric?
Oh, yeah. And so is this like made taut over frames, or like how's it
Over
used?
frames, or it's sewn together. Let's see, do I have any that's finished? Or it's sewn together with webbing and grommets, and you know, whether it's hung via curtain track or it's dead hung from a pipe, and it's because it's fabric, it can get custom made to any size, length. You know, this asked for, required. Whether or not it needs a pipe pocket at the bottom, which is usually just a hem at the bottom for people to add heavy chain to the bottom to give it some weight to make sure it stays, you know, pulled snug as it's hanging. That's just an example of the difference between the Polypro fabric and the Tempo fabric. The Tempo is just a spongier fabric. Again, because of that, the fabric, it does not have a fire rating.
That's really cool. And I just learned something, so thank you.
Do you guys have the means to do VFX?
I'd say it depends on the production, but we're going into what is our biggest project we've ever done, and it's quite possible there will be a VFX element in the finale scene.
Sure.
So
We have some fire involved, so trying to think how much of that can be practical, and of course for safety reasons, how much of that will need to be
VFX.
added.
Yeah. Well, you know, give me a shout.
Hey,
Oh, we'll let you know.
we absolutely will.
How big do you think that'll be?
I'd say there's a structure the size of like the edge of that room to here.
40 feet-ish? Inside? Outside?
Outside.
Nice. We've got plenty of it. I know I've got a bunch of them on my truck to be able to do. Really, it's a lot of it is, you know, a lot of the larger stages. You know, it's 360 degrees of, you know, blue or green screen and stuff, which possibly maybe going the way of the dodo bird with you know, the ability of LED walls and, you know, volumes, you know, the use of it and the integration of it all, but. Still, for practical VFX, this stuff's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
That's
putting up both screens.
super cool. I had no idea. You mentioned there was a cart in the showroom
Oh, sure.
that you wanted to show us.
There's a couple of cool things on this cart. This is our ECS 4x cart. And I mean, right now it's just riddled with all kinds of things sitting on it. But again, it's in one of those carts that, you know, it does have the handbrake instead of the foot brake because these things get heavy. This is our 4x4 travel kit. This is actually has two 4x frames in it, a single net, a double net, a solid, and a silk. And if you guys have ever traveled, very similar to your truck, trying to get two of these in the back of your truck can pose a problem. And our solution is our travel kit. This is our 4x4 breakdown frame. You get two of these in that travel kit.
Hi, you are quite literally changing our lives.
Oh,
I can't begin to tell you the inconvenience of us trying to transport 4x4s.
Now you have a 4x4. Now, our competitors have their own versions of them. And thank you. And so from that, I should get you a C. Oh, you know what? You want to stab it in a C-stand?
Is it?
There's our single
It
net.
has pockets. Spencer.
That's awesome.
Freaking out.
Go over the corner. Go over the corner.
Milk.
And then you got little tabs here to, snug it up.
Oh, Spencer.
That's great.
That's
So I think we need one of these. And we know where to get them too now. Grip Center Atlanta.
I'm obsessed with this now.
Every kit comes with 2. And like I said, they just come apart. Very simple and easy. Everything tent post together, and now you have another 4x with a solid, a silk, a single net, and a double net. And our 2x3 and 1824 kits run the exact same way. It'll fit under a bed, it'll fit inside your car, it'll sit in a trunk, it'll fit underneath the back seats of your truck. And again,
Sensational.
open-ended 2x3, and then your silks. Your silk will just slide on.
Yeah, like this?
It'll
Oh, I
slide
see.
on. There's a pocket
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
there. And now you have a nice silk.
Yeah. That's
And it breaks down into a very small and simple, easy travel kit. And if you have any other flavor of fabric you need to, you want with it, all you have to do is let us know, give us a shout. If you want to put a bounce on it, a floppy, have, instead of it being a solid, have a solid floppy. Zips up, simple, easy. And that's a wrap. and
You've
you're
blown
done.
our minds today. Ty, everything you've shown us today has been incredible. I feel like this is something that isn't seen or talked about a lot in regards to the film industry. So I really appreciate you showing us around this space that you've made and contributed in.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I get this, as we mentioned out there, this is, you bring that up. I think this is another kind of example of, some of the below the line BTS. What does it take? What is the real behind the scenes? It's a lot of grips having to come to somewhere, shop, and figure out how to build the rig. That gives the opportunity for camera to set up and do its thing. But I'm glad you guys stopped by, man. This is great.
This has
I'm
been
glad
incredibly
to get to
cool.
show you some cool things. My door's always open.
Thank
I
you.
really
Ty.
appreciate you for the time.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming. Thanks so much.
Yeah.